famous across the globe for its amazing coastline, great nightlife, just this really relaxed vibe. You probably think you know it, but what if I told you this place, tucked away on India's west coast, has this much, much deeper story, one that's, steeped in centuries of history that really sets it apart. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're heading out, metaphorically speaking, to uncover Goa's true, enduring Portuguese soul. Our mission, as always, is to pull out the key insights from the sources you've given us, basically offering you a shortcut to understanding what makes this place so unique. And we're leaning heavily today on excerpts from Goa, India's enduring Portuguese soul. So the very first thing, the thing that really leaped out at me from the material was this, honestly astonishing historical fact. Goa was a Portuguese colony for 451 years.
Yeah.
That's just an incredible length of time, isn't it? Way longer than British rule almost anywhere else in India.
It's absolutely crucial, that distinction. And what's fascinating here is how that incredibly long colonial history didn't just, sit on top of things. It profoundly forged a unique Goan identity.
Yeah.
Really set it on a completely different path compared to the rest of India.
Yeah.
Think about it. Independence for most of India was 1947. Goa only became part of India much later, 1961.
Yeah.
And it wasn't exactly a handover. It happened through military action, Operation Vijay.
Yeah.
Pretty swift, pretty decisive. That moment really highlights Goa's unique post-colonial story.
Right, a completely different timeline. And this legacy, this colonial hangover, as the book calls it, you can still see it so clearly today, can't you? It feels like it's everywhere. The architecture, those grand churches, the charming old villas.
Very distinct.
And the food, you taste it in things like vindaloo or that sweet babinka.
Oh, yeah?
Even just hearing local names, Da Silva, Fernandes, it's like a little echo of that long Portuguese presence. It's really woven into the fabric of the place.
Exactly. And if you connect that back, that exceptionally long, sort of unbroken colonial period, that's precisely what allowed for such a deep fusion. It wasn't just a light touch. It was centuries of Indian and Portuguese cultures mixing, creating something genuinely new, something organic.
Coming totally new, yeah, a real synthesis. And I guess that leads us right into this idea of Susegaad.
Mm-hmm.
The sources talk about it as the heart of the Goan lifestyle, chilled out, unhurried, kind of peacefully content. It sounds like more than just relaxing, like a whole way of being.
It really is. It permeates everything.
And beyond just Susegaad, you see this cultural mix everywhere, right? The carnivals look amazing, all the festivals they have, the music scenes, apparently really vibrant, especially electronic and indie.
Definitely. Big music culture there.
And you absolutely have to mention Feni, yeah. That strong local liquor.
Can't talk Goa without Feni.
Made from cashew fruit or coconut sap, double distilled. Sounds pretty unique. You don't find that elsewhere in India.
Nope. Very Goan.
And it's interesting, the religious mix seems quite harmonious, too. The material says about 65% Hindu, 25% Christian, and then others mixed in. Seems like a peaceful coexistence.
Generally, yes. That fusion extends to faith, too.
Okay, so everyone knows Goa for its beaches, obviously. Baga, Anjuna, Palolem, Arambol. They're famous for a reason, I guess. They draw the crowds.
They absolutely do. But here's where it gets really interesting, and the sources make a strong point about this. The actual soul of Goa, it's not really on the main tourist beaches. To find that deeper layer, you need to step away from the coast a bit.
Okay, so where should people look?
Well, definitely Old Goa. You've got these incredible UNESCO World Heritage churches, like the Basilica Bom Jesus. It's just awe-inspiring.
Right.
Then there's Fontaines and Panaji, the Latin Quarter. It's like stepping back in time. Narrow streets, colorful houses. The book calls it frozen in time, which feels about right.
Sounds beautiful.
And don't forget the inland stuff. The spice plantations are fascinating. You see where all those flavors come from. Plus waterfalls, these sleepy little villages. That's where you find a quieter, maybe more traditional Goa.
Quieter, yeah. Makes you wonder how long it can stay that way with tourism growing. But speaking of flavors, and linking back to those spice plantations, let's talk food. Because Goan cuisine sounds like a real powerhouse.
Oh, absolutely.
The research pulls out some classics. Pork vindaloo. Just reading about it makes your mouth water, right? That spicy kick.
Definitely has a kick.
Then there's the kuri curry, the fish thali, which sounds like a must-try, and that layered dessert, babinka.
Babinka is fantastic. But what really defines Goan food, what gives it that unique profile, is how they use certain key ingredients. Loads of coconut, obviously. Then there's kokum. That tanky, sour fruit gives a unique sharpness.
Kokum, right.
Lots of vinegar that's a clear Portuguese influence shining through. And of course, just a masterful use of spices. It creates something really distinct from other Indian cuisines.
You really taste the history in the food then.
You absolutely do, which brings up a really important point. How does modern Goa balance all this? Its deep traditions, its unique culture, with the pressures of today.
Yeah.
The economy, as the sources mention, relies heavily on tourism,
Yeah.
but also mining, shipping, and things like the cashew and coconut trade are still significant.
Right.
And it's known for being quite progressive, actually. High literacy rates, a generally forward-thinking vibe within India.
Okay.
But it's definitely facing challenges. Over-tourism is a big one, concerns about land exploitation, and that constant worry about cultural dilution, losing what makes it special.
That's always the risk, isn't it? But it's encouraging that the sources say locals are pushing back, actively defending their identity and environment. That seems to fit with that enduring spirit we've been talking about.
It does. There's a resilience there.
And some of the fun facts in the material really highlight how unique Goa still is. Like, it has some of the highest per capita income in India. Didn't expect that.
Surprising, right?
And it's home to Asia's only floating Caspano scene. That's wild. Must be down to its specific laws, maybe a legacy thing again.
Very likely linked to its unique history and legal framework, yeah.
And they still celebrate Portuguese festivals like São João, the one where people jump into wells.
Yep. Still a tradition.
Amazing. And the nightlife laws allowing late parties, that definitely speaks to that liberal Susegaad approach extending even into modern regulations.
It all paints a picture, doesn't it? So if we boil it all down, the core insight from this deep dive is really that Goa is this incredibly rich tapestry. Its history is this unique cultural fusion, its modern energy. It's just so much more complex and fascinating than just the beaches people usually focus on.
Yeah, absolutely more than just sun and sand. So what does this all mean for you listening? Well, I think it's a great reminder, isn't it, that even places we feel we know well, these famous destinations, often have hidden depths, layers of stories, really fascinating complexities if we just, take a moment to look past the surface. And maybe here's something to chew on after we finish. When you think about how Goa has managed, despite centuries of outside influence and all the pressures of modern life, to hold on to its unique cultural identity, what can other regions, or maybe even other cultures, learn from Goa about how to adapt and thrive?